All right, boys. Episode 35 of Don't Spoil the Ending.
Yep.
Welcome to the show, if you're listening. I'm Joe.
I'm Sam.
I'm Nick.
Hi, I'm John.
Good stuff. How are we all today?
Yeah, pretty good. A bit tired today, but yeah, good.
I noticed earlier on our WhatsApp group, John, that you mentioned that you bought a sausage roll.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very much like the diagrams that you've drew of the perfect sausage roll. I just wanted to get confirmation of that on the show.
Yeah, they were my words.
So are you making diagrams of your perfect pastries now?
I wasn't expecting this.
So you're just drawing pastries?
In the last couple of weeks, I was quite busy.
I just want an explanation. I'm confused.
I was showing my colleagues what the perfect sausage roll should look like.
Yeah.
And I drew like 3D diagrams of ratio of sausage roll to meat content.
Yeah.
And that one on the picture today matched up with my diagram perfectly. Yeah.
Great. I just needed to double check.
Yeah. So I've had the perfect sausage roll today.
Okay.
From Waterfields.
Yeah.
Not Greg's.
Just thought it was strange you were drawing pictures of pastry.
Northwest owns Waterfield.
Yeah. Is it really?
Yeah.
I've wondered that.
Northwest only, isn't it?
Right.
All right. I just wanted to bring it up and then swiftly move on.
Yeah.
Draw me like one of your French pastries.
If anybody's interested, I'll get a few pictures, diagrams on the Twitter feed.
Are they really?
Yeah. I will get a few on there.
Great stuff.
Yep.
So our film this week is...
Darkest Hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a film about Winston Churchill.
Yeah. Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Getting all the Oscar buzz. Mm-hmm. Being tipped for all the awards. Yep.
Yeah. That'll be our headline for this week.
Yep.
Does anyone got anything else you want to talk about before we move on to games?
We could do the little game I've come up with.
Oh, you got a game, have you?
Okay. So we were discussing sort of like people's ages on the way back from the film last night, sort of going, I wonder how old Churchill was at the time and stuff like that, because sometimes his looks could be deceiving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, on IMDb they have a birthday section. So birthdays today, there's 3 of them. Just gonna play Guess How Old They Are.
Okay.
We need to make a sting or something, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Can't just steal that.
Just headline like Inman's Game.
Right. Yeah. All right, Sam. Do you want to?
We can edit that in afterwards.
Do you want to introduce the game and then I'll edit in the music?
I mean, there's no official name for it yet, is it?
We'll name it.
Inman's Game.
Sam's age game.
Yep.
What's my age again?
Actors whose birthdays are today, guess the age.
Snappy.
Just trips off the top.
Yeah, that was the meaning of it.
Great stuff.
Okay. First one, Evan Peters. So, Evan Peters of American Horror Story, X-Men, Kick-Ass.
Are we guessing his age now?
Guessing his age. It's his birthday today. How old is he today?
Can I go first?
Oh, for sure.
31.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I was going with 32.
Oh.
Personally.
I will go with 33. Do you have to be dead on, or is it closest?
Well, someone is dead on.
So should we do dead on?
Oh,
So
God.
there's going to be a
We'll
winner.
do dead on. We'll do dead on. If you're closest, you don't get the points. Sam, this is your game. I'm taking over. Sorry, mate.
That's fine. I'm going to keep track of scores. Maybe do this as a... I mean, people's
weekly guess the age. Weekly guess the age of the actor game.
I mean, people have birthdays every week. So. He is 31.
Yes.
Oh, well done.
JT gets the point.
Congratulations.
Next up, Rainn Wilson. Birthday today. How old is he?
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't mind going first, but if anyone wants to jump in first.
Rainn Wilson of The Office fame
Yeah.
and Transformers fame.
I mean, I've got an age straight away, but
I'm gonna go for 40.
I'm going with 47.
44.
You're all way off.
Oh.
52.
Ooh.
He looks alright for the age.
Wait. If you're closest, you get a point for being closest.
No, I don't
Are we saying dead on? Got to be dead on.
I think you have to be dead on because in the last game, Nick went for 32 and I went for 33 and you went for 31.
Yeah,
so
but-
Nick literally had no chance of winning.
I know, yeah. But this time I I'm the closest, so I reckon I get I reckon I get half a point for this.
I think we'll go dead on. We'll have to go dead on. Make it more interesting. Okay, finally, David Lynch.
Oh,
your boy.
Today.
Well, it's one of two. It's one of two ages, but I don't know which one's right.
Happy birthday, Mr. Lynch.
I'll let you guys go first.
Happy birthday, Dave.
I mean, I've got literally the age in my head, but I don't want to.
All right. Nick, do you want to try first?
I'm going to go 75.
I'm going to go for 72.
I was going to say 72. 73. Wow.
You can both go for the same age.
72.
No,
72. No, 73. 73 I'll go with. I think he was 72.
You should have stuck with 72. 72 today.
Yes!
Oh, no.
I'm a bigger Twin Peaks fan.
Recount. Do over.
And that concludes our birthdays this week.
What was the name of the game?
I can't even remember. It was so long-winded.
Inman's Guess the Actor's Age game.
It's the birthday today game. Great. I'll put this thing in now. Great, I had fun with that. What was the scores?
JT's on 1 point, you're on 1 point, Nick is on 0. You'll have to redeem yourself next week, Nick.
I'm maintaining I should have half a point.
Yeah. I like the idea in the future. It's just like guess Jono's age. 40, 41.
Yeah. Well, should we guess Jono's age for a bonus point? I suppose we all know. Okay. That was a fun game. I enjoyed that.
But that went better than all you thought, didn't it, you naysayers?
Yeah. Should have said this is our first 4-man show of 2018, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yep.
First time me and Sam have been on the same podcast since November.
Yeah, Halloween, I think we were working out last time I was on.
Yeah, was that Antichrist, that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Should we move on to games then? Are we quite happy to move on to that first?
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a few things to talk about. Dark Souls is coming out for the Switch, a remastered version.
Which one is it? Like 3?
No, I think it's the first one. They're remastering it. I've heard they're not touching anything with graphics really, but it's going to be like 60 frames per second, which is quite good for Dark Souls.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a sort of game where if they change too much balancing in the game, the rabid fans of that would fume over it. So I'm going to assume it's going to be pretty close to the original.
Yeah.
But that's quite an interesting game to come out on the Switch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Nintendo have got like a history of placating their like younger fans, but with the Switch, they seem to be properly going a bit more hardcore, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Like I think we mentioned before that the Galgun's coming out on that soon. That's the game where you shoot anime girls' clothes off.
Yeah,
that's literally coming out on the Switch.
Pre-ordered. Sounds good.
Doom's came out on there, hasn't it? We've mentioned that a few times.
Yeah.
That's not exactly child friendly.
Even stuff like Oxenfree that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That is in the same kind of vein as Life is Strange. So kids aren't going to be buying that. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's I bought that earlier. £3.99 on offer. That's surely worth it, John. You've recommended it in the past.
I've only played like half of it so far, but it's a great game.
It's a half a recommend.
Half a recommend. Yeah. Play the first half.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dark Souls is a game that I've never actually put time into, just because it's probably too hard for me. But
have you played any of them kind of games?
Only Bloodborne, and that was really hard. I didn't get very far.
I bought Dark Souls Born on the Xbox 360 years ago off a recommendation. I didn't have any clue what I was getting myself in for, and I'll go around the corner, the first corner in the game, and encounter a massive mob or monster, whatever you want to call it, and I don't even know if I got past that.
I think I did. I think I got to the first boss on Bloodborne, and then was like, I can't do this game.
I got past Father Gascoigne was the first boss.
Yeah.
There was a weird glitch so I could get past that one, but I mean, it took me a week just to get to the actual boss of the first level.
Yeah, it's just too hard. So I don't even know why I'm excited about Dark Souls. Maybe it's just because it's a Switch game.
I don't know if it's too hard. It's just that's the point in the game almost. And you're meant to just struggle.
It's supposed to be punishing. And...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I had Demon Souls on PS3, which was like the one before Dark Souls, I think. But I didn't get far in that one either.
Yeah. Another upcoming game I wanted to bring up. Did anyone play Theme Hospital?
I did.
Back in the day.
I feel like I know what you're going to talk about. But...
I'm going to bring up 2 Point Hospital, is what it's called. So this is a company where the main two people behind it used to work at Bullfrog. and they were part of the development team who did Theme Hospital, and they're basically they're putting together a spiritual successor to Theme Hospital. So they've released a trailer recently. I think it's being published by Sega, so it's got Sega's backing.
Yeah.
The trailer is just it's the same humor as the old Theme Hospital. So somebody has got the illness of lightheadedness, so their head is a giant light bulb. And
I was going to say though, I believe this time it's real ailments.
No. So it's not even that. I heard the same thing, but that was a different hospital game.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that was a different one that isn't linked to this one.
Oh,
this is made by a couple of people who worked on the original, have batted around ideas for a few years, and they're coming back with a new. Basically, it's the new Theme Hospital. I don't think they can name it Theme Hospital, but they've made a company called, I think it's 2 Point Studios, and what they're going to do is build all these simulation games, basically. So it ties in with our conversations about cities recently.
So we might get like a 2 Point theme park thing.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm thinking, that they might bring in a different type of simulation. So what they've said recently is that when they made Theme Hospital, they were expecting lots of other different simulation games to come out, and they've said not many of them captured the same sort of humor as Theme Hospital because they've took themselves maybe too seriously. So they've made a studio to basically make these games. They've got the same humor, same style as Theme Hospital, and Theme Park World, stuff like that. And release them as part of the new venture.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, because the only game I can think of that had real humor in it that was a simulation game that I've played at least was Tropico 5. I played. That's where you play a dictator.
Yeah,
and that has a lot of humor in it. It's not the same type of humor because the Theme Hospital is a very British style of humor. A lot of like irony and stuff, like
a lot of visual gags, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, for example, pop in someone's head in the old games where somebody would have an overinflated head. And they'd have to pop the head and then reinflate a new head. So, I can't wait for that game. I saw that announcement over the weekend. Quite happy.
I look forward to that.
Yep. Yeah. So they're two upcoming games I wanted to talk about. I spent most of my time recently playing Nier Automata, or Nier Automata. I don't really know how to pronounce it because they never actually use the words. But that is my 2017 game of the year now. There's no other way of going about it. That game, if you could put 40 hours aside to put into that, it's one of the most rewarding experiences I've had playing a game in a long time.
Yeah.
So the game is basically, there's a war on Earth, and it's these machines against the androids, and you're the androids fighting on behalf of the humans who now live on the moon. Basically, aliens invaded thousands of years ago, and the machines that they brought with them have basically took over Earth, and that's what led for humans to develop androids, and those androids now fight this almost endless war against the machines. So you've got the machines and the androids. And there's a lot to that game. There are so many layers to it. I don't actually want to give too much of it away because the rewarding part of that experience is playing through it and piecing it all together.
Learning it for yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's a game you're supposed to play more than once. So you play it all the way through the first time as 2B, which is the sort of main android, and then on the second playthrough you play as 9S, who is your companion android from the first playthrough. So you repeat a lot of the same sequences as the same bosses and things like that, but from his perspective. But it fleshes out the story from the first playthrough.
I love the idea of that, because you just said it's like an endless war, and I love the fact that when you've finished the game, you essentially go back to the beginning anyway.
It's like the game's like a concept type thing, but there is like a finite ending to it, and I got to that on mine. It took me about 40 hours. I did 90% of the quests by that point, and I was blown away by some of the things in that game. Just the concept, and it's a game where the characters question their existence and question what is this like. So it takes place in the year like 1100 something. So it's set on Earth, but so far into the future it's completely different. But the setting is a post-apocalyptic world where all the buildings have been taken over by like nature, and these robots are all like, not to give too much away about how the robots think, but it's almost like some of them have developed some form of consciousness. So there's again, not major spoilers, but you meet a character called Pascal pretty early on in the game, and he's basically created a village of friendly robots. So when you first turn up there, they're all holding white surrender flags. They're like, "Oh, come to our village." And yeah, up to that point, robots you've always seen as like the enemy, but some of them have formed their own consciousness, and maybe not so much like that, but it's how you interpret stuff as well.
Yeah.
But the game has 26 endings. 26 endings. Most of them are not worth doing, but it's the main 5 good endings. The rest are considered bad, where they don't really count, but they go on your save file. But yeah, those 5 endings, like it reminded me a lot of Metal Gear 5. So with Metal Gear Solid 5, you finish the game, the credits roll, and then the game carries on again with a whole new thing, like a new chapter that you don't even expect. And I felt the same thing with playing this that I did with that. So when you do other playthroughs, you've got to just view it like chapters and keep rolling with it. And when you look back and look at the full experience, like, I was totally blown away by it.
Yeah.
So that for me is the best game I've played in a long time. I've been saying over the last week that it's in my top 10 games ever. I don't know how far up, so I'm going to put a list together and see where it ends up.
But we could do a top games ever podcast.
Yeah. I just can't get over that, because I've totally got absorbed into that even after I've finished it. So I'm listening to the music from it. I'm looking at merch I can buy. Like, I'm literally totally sucked into it. And I want to play more of it. So I've got more I can play of that game. But yeah, I want another one of those games, and I don't know when I'm ever going to get that, because it felt like it's published by Square Enix, so it's got Final Fantasy elements to it without being a Final Fantasy game, whilst also being an action game, and it's very anime. You've got to kind of get your head around the fact that this was released to a Japanese audience as the primary audience. So to just put it in perspective, one of the trophies is if you angle the camera to look up her dress 10 times in the game, you get a trophy for that. You have to kind of look past that.
Like it.
You have to look past that, because you look at that and go, "Oh, it's a daft game." But you have to remember that, I don't know, some people are not going to be happy with stuff like that in it. There's not much of that, and it kind of feels like that's out of place with the rest of the game.
How quickly did you unlock that trophy?
That was one. That was one of the last trophies I got. But like, that was when you say that, you don't realize that there's so much more depth to the game, that it's
that almost misrepresents the actual game itself.
Exactly. Like, that's a 1% of a game that, it isn't like that. So the majority of the androids you meet and stuff, they're all women. Like, they're all like anime women type people, and you see a couple of male ones. You don't see many, but it's just that's just the universe that this game has been built in. Like, this is Japan, where we mentioned Galgun before. There's no games out there shooting off male high school students' clothes. I'm not saying there should be, but it's that whole anime fan service type thing. So there's a little bit of that in the game that I think misrepresents the entire thing, because it's much more thoughtful and much deeper with a lot of layers to it. So I just totally love it. Like, I can't even describe how much I liked that game.
Can I ask, is it a series, Nier, or is this the only game?
Yeah, Nier is it is a series, but
I have heard the name before.
This game, as far as I've heard, has got pretty much nothing to do with any previous games for it.
So I'm sure I've seen like a game cover with like a guy with like Dante from a Devil May Cry or something. That was a Nier game as well, like shocking blonde hair and stuff. Yeah, I think
from my understanding is that some of the elements towards the very end of the game link in loosely to old games, but I've went in never even really hearing about the series before, and it hasn't affected my enjoyment at all.
That's good. You can pick up the game without playing
totally.
the series before. Like,
you have to kind of look at it and go that there's probably a couple of elements here that you go, oh right, that links in with this. It's set thousands of years into the future after the older games.
Is it a series in the same respect as Final Fantasy is a series? As in, like
Possibly.
There are certain elements that are the same, but like as games, they tend to be standalone, don't they?
Yeah, no, that's a good comparison because Final Fantasy, like you said, a lot of the summons are all named similar, or there'll be characters like Cid who appears in like I think every Final Fantasy, but it's always a different person. Like there's no connection. I don't know if that's the case with Nier, but all I know is that it's set that far into the future that it's completely irrelevant, like the old games. But, yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah, wanted to put that out there. It's my. It has to be my 2017 game of the year.
So you're changing your 2017 game of the year.
Yeah. It was Battlegrounds off simply what that game did, but Nier kind of. I've not played a game like that and felt like that about a game in a long time, but. I'm moving on to Persona 5 soon, so hopefully that doesn't take over and become my next 2017 game. But yeah,
spend all year just changing your 2017 game.
Yeah, I should find out my 2016 game of the year, shouldn't I? Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say on that. That's games covered up from my perspective.
Okay.
Finished Night in the Woods. I know I just said I'd finish, but I'm just going to finish off with this. Finished Night in the Woods. Fully love that game. Missed it a few times recently. Finished it, loved it. Would play again.
Did you mention that was coming to the Switch as well?
Yeah, they were releasing it Night in the Woods Weird Autumn, which is like a slightly extended version of the game on the Switch. It's not enough for me to rebuy it, but yeah, loved that game. Really good.
Great stuff.
Yeah, should we... any other games?
One quick thing, got not much to say about it, but the on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo announced on Thursday that of the Nintendo Labo, is it, or Labo? I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is like a cardboard 3D printer.
I mean, I'm not going to buy it.
I'm interested.
Oh, I hate cardboard.
I'm just interested in the concept. Apparently, it added like 1.4 billion to the share value straight away. Yeah. Like people are just so like into it, kind of thing.
It's cardboard.
I think you mentioned like cardboard's the like the new gold.
Well, I've said this. Like I was going to open a store selling cardboard boxes.
I forgot about that.
Right. I was gonna do that because whatever you sell anything online, what do you always sell it with? A box. Who needs cardboard boxes? Everybody, right?
Yeah.
Everybody needs cardboard boxes. Nintendo have beat me to it.
Agree with you. Yeah.
They've beat me to it. They're saying, "Oh yeah, make some things out of cardboard and we'll put a screen on it."
Yeah.
They've stole my idea.
You can make working pianos.
Yeah.
You can make.
If it's 3D printed, it's not cardboard. Well, it's cardboard,
it's not 3D printed.
The way
it's like you cut the cardboard and stuff and fold the. I think so.
I don't know much about it, to be honest.
So it's not 3D printed in any way.
I don't think so.
No, it's just.
How's that something to do with the Switch then?
So it's basically your Switch interacts with the actual items that you make.
Yeah, the cardboard items that you make.
Yeah.
So you physically go and make stuff out of cardboard. I assume they provide you with the special cardboard.
You can either make your own complete creations or you can make their like ready-made.
Yeah.
Put this in, it'll make this or whatever. But they make things called Toy-Cons, which are like the Joy-Cons, and the Toy-Cons work with the Nintendo Switch.
Right. Okay.
But they're out of cardboard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a crazy idea,
good idea.
But like people seem to be loving the concept behind it.
Yeah. It reminds me of like in the 90s when they did like a little camera for the Game Boy and stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Printer, do you remember that?
Yeah.
You could print out photos and stuff. It's that kind of same idea, isn't it? A weird peripheral for it.
Yeah. I can't knock Nintendo at the moment. Like it just the stuff that
they're smashing it, aren't they? Yeah.
You imagine this is the company that released the Wii U that just totally died.
Yeah.
Like,
but I feel like they always do this though. They have like one good console, one bad console. Like the GameCube didn't do well.
Yeah.
3DS saved it for them. Well, the 2DS. Sorry,
the DS and then. DS. But then between the DS and the 3DS, they did the 2DS. Or did they do it the other way around? I don't know.
I think 3DS came first.
It was, wasn't it? So it's just always backwards anyway.
Yeah, the Wii smashed it, but then the Wii U bombed.
Yeah. But even with the DS, they released about 15 different versions of the 2DS and the 3DS. Like, you get a 2DS that doesn't have a 3D capability, which was poor anyway. I hated the 3D.
Yeah, it's a bit just a gimmick. It
was just gimmick, but yeah, they it's very hit and miss, isn't it?
Yeah,
with Nintendo.
So this could be like a bit of a flop. But it's just like a cool little idea they're chucking out there,
Yeah, I like it. All right, should we move on to television?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at you, Sam.
Me? I've got a couple of shows, which are both talk shows, but they kind of vary in style. So, first one is Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld.
I keep hearing about this.
It's been out for years as an internet series and was on Sony's network Crackle. So I've heard about this. Like Jerry Seinfeld, like stand-up, really good in Seinfeld the show.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in Seinfeld the show, he comes across as someone that doesn't like cars, and I think part of his show is it's just a car that gets you from A to B. But in this show, he's like a real petrol head.
Oh right.
He says he's a car guy and everything like that. However, like when he's describing the car, I'm like, I'm not buying into anything you're saying. I feel like you just read it off a script. Like I don't fully believe it. Just he sounds so staged he sounds almost sarcastic when he's describing like this beautiful V8 engine. I'm like, you just not say that.
Maybe that's the point, though.
I don't know.
He's doing like a kind of Jeremy Clarkson, like kind of like parody almost.
Well, I don't know because he'll spend time with the other comedians, sort of like looking at the car and sort of like going, "Oh, how great is it?" and stuff like that. And like, it's a part of the show and stuff like that. Like he'll change the car every week to like a different vintage car or whatever like that. Pick up a different comedian, and it's very structured show with just in a car. But then they'll go to a restaurant or a coffee shop or anything like that, and then get back in the car and just drop them off. Like that's literally it.
Yeah.
But I find it odd that it's 12 to 20 minute episodes, and I just felt like I couldn't get into any of the episodes because of the way it's edited, because they're supposed to be having sort of like conversations in the car. It's edited so quickly that there's a constant background music on it, which I can't get behind. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And you feel like they're just trying to cram in 10 different like little stories into this 12-minute episode, and you're not spending any time actually getting into the story at all. It jumps so quick between I was looking forward to it so much, like viewing it, because it was on Crackle, so I didn't watch it or anything like that. It's come to Netflix as a collection, so it's not in the same order as it came out.
Oh, okay.
In the series. So the series, he started off with Larry. David. Yeah. So that was the episode 1, but the episode 1 on Netflix is Jim Carrey.
I've watched both of them episodes as well. The Jim, like when I've been watching it, I've just been going through trying to find the best looking ones.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you can do that with a collection if it's not in order and stuff like that. There's no sort of. I mean,
no through line to it.
Yeah, there's not going to link or anything like that. But I just couldn't quite get into it. But I watched the Barack Obama one of it, which was
what, comedians in cars.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a special one, but Jerry Seinfeld kind of says at the start of the episode, well, Barack Obama's kind of a cool president, and he does come out with some quite good one-liners and stuff like that.
Yep. Well, I'm sure some people call him a comedian, won't they?
So I watched that episode because that ties in with David Letterman's new talk show.
Yeah, I thought this would be your other show.
Yeah. So the other show is David Letterman's. My next guest needs no introduction.
Yep.
So this is a monthly TV show on Netflix. Where,
monthly? I thought it was weekly. Is it monthly?
No, it's going to be monthly.
Right.
So over the next 6 months, there's going to be 6 shows. First one started off with Barack Obama. This is totally different. It's completely bare concept where there's just 2 of them sat on a stage, big audience. Comes out, he introduces Barack Obama. But he has like the cast of this is going to be sort of like, well, Barack Obama's first episode, but then they're going to have like Jay-Z on there, and then
I think it was George Clooney one of them.
George Clooney is one of them. Yeah, so it's all big, kind of not your usual getting on your late night talk shows.
Yeah,
I've never really watched
someone who's like selling a book that week.
No.
It's got to be like somebody actually interesting kind of thing.
And the stories that Barack Obama was telling was genuinely interesting, and they give it time to get into sort of the interesting part of the story, rather than when they're in the car and they chop and change between the stories. I found Barack Obama on David Letterman so much better than what he was on Comedians in Cars. Basically, the funniest part of the Barack Obama cut in Comedians in Cars was when Jerry Seinfeld wasn't even there. And basically, it's an outtake right at the end when he's telling his security guard not to shoot Jerry Seinfeld because he's going to knock at the window. I was like, yeah, that's the funniest part of the show, and they're not even in the car, they're not getting coffee, and it doesn't even include Jerry Seinfeld. I really like the way sort of like the David Letterman show is set up and everything like that, and it just feels so much more heartfelt, so much funnier, and not even... I'll give Comedians in Cars a few more episodes and stuff like that. Like I said, like 12-minute, 20-minute filler episodes, but I can't wait to see the next David Letterman talk show.
I think like part of the big appeal with that is the fact he's been away from TV for so long now that it's actually making. I presume it'll be like a final comeback because he must be in his 70s now.
It was he said after late night talk show that was his retirement.
It was done.
So at the start of this, because it almost like. It's his talk show, but he almost indulges in his story as much as like the guest.
Right.
So he gives a lot of background of what he's been doing in between, sort of like when he was last on TV, and he actually gets quite. His personal stuff comes out as well. I quite like that with what he did and
right.
So.
He's grown quite an impressive white beard as well now.
Yes, that's very good.
It's quite good.
I can't get Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis out of my head when you're explaining that. Have you ever seen that?
I have.
What's it called? Sorry.
Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis. It was a show we did a while ago on YouTube. It was just like little 5-minute interviews, but it'd be with the likes of Will Ferrell and stuff, and Justin Bieber was on it and stuff. But it was just tongue in cheek. It was Zach Galifianakis' like strange sense of humour thing.
Yeah, like a weird parody of
there was a total parody.
Like,
But I'm sure he had like Barack Obama on there and stuff.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, possibly.
Did he have him on there?
He did,
yeah. But I remember enjoying that. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I just thought about that when you were saying that.
Sorry.
I've actually watched the Comedians in Cars one, and like you've got me interested in the David Letterman one. I'm quite curious to watch that, but I've only watched like the Jim Carrey one of Comedians in Cars, Larry David, sorry, and Will Ferrell. I think I watched a couple of others, but like I like the Jim Carrey one and I like the Will Ferrell one, but like the other ones I got bored. Like they did what's his name now? The one from Jumanji, the small one.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, and I like him in films, but I wasn't interested in that episode. I was so bored of it, and like I like the Jim Carrey one, but I found it just a bit odd, like because he's
an odd guy.
He was in his weird stage.
Yeah.
Well, he's still in his weird stage. You know what I mean? So like that felt a bit weird, and Will Ferrell felt very much put on. It didn't feel like genuine banter kind of thing.
A lot of it does feel put on. I just feel like when they're filming it, I feel like they'd never actually get into any conversation whatsoever. Yeah. They feel like, I'll do this, you do this, and then film like 2 minutes, and I'm just like, right, we'll edit that down for a 1 minute snippet of the show.
Right.
It's like how we record Don't Spoil the Ending.
Is it totally improv, the Comedians in Cars show?
Apparently it's completely unscripted and everything like that, but I'm not. Well, the outtake from the Barack Obama one was definitely something being set up. So
right.
Whether that's different because it includes the president.
Maybe. I can't imagine it's just run with it. Like, just go with it, Barack. Come on.
But like, did you ever watch the Larry David one?
Not
like,
no.
I watched it, and like he's like a full-on vegan kind of thing. And he's got like very strict dietary, and he seems very boring in the way he eats. Like he'll only eat plain food, and like, I mean, I know you do with burgers, but he wouldn't even eat a burger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seinfeld gave him a pancake for breakfast, and it's the first time he'd ever tried it, and he didn't like it. And it was that was quite funny watching that, and because it's just like his character in Curb Your Enthusiasm. So
I was going to say, it sounds like a weird crossover that with Curb Your Enthusiasm, because in that show, a lot of that show is just him and Seinfeld eating in a diner.
That's probably the intent of it. Then, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, they're lifelong friends, and they've written for each other and stuff like that. Like Larry David was part of Seinfeld.
Yeah,
so,
he's the producer.
Yeah. So you feel like if you put them in a car, you should get an hour's worth of conversation out of them, which you shouldn't you probably shouldn't have to edit.
Yeah, it should be
It's
gold.
going to be,
yeah.
You kind of feel that, and that's how I was imagining the show was going to be before watching it, and that's how I wish it was after watching it, because I feel like I just can't get into it. Like.
Bit of a wasted opportunity.
But I think they've been on, as an internet series since like 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
So, and they've got like 10 seasons of it, a lot of episodes.
3 collections of 20 episodes or something.
Yeah, so someone must have enjoyed it. Jerry Seinfeld, probably.
That's a great review. Someone must be.
I'm interested in giving it a go, and it's Seinfeld, isn't it? So I'll probably give it a go at some point. Yep.
Cool. Any more TV?
I think I'm done for TV.
I've got nothing, me. No? All right. Let's go on to films then. I wanted to just raise one film. There's possibly a new Super Mario film coming out.
Oh, really?
Animated by the people who made Minions. It's going to be Mario. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not much more on that. That's it. That's all the news you get in this week.
It's going to be another Mario Bros, isn't it? Mario Bros.
I have no idea. Because I remember that real life one was insane.
That's what I mean. It's going to be another one of them, and it's Super Mario Bros. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. With, oh God. What's the short bald guy called who died recently?
I was about to say Danny DeVito.
Oh God, I can't think of his name. In Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the English guy.
Don't know.
Bob Hoskins.
Right.
He was Mario, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And John Leguizamo was Luigi. So it was a good cast, and Dennis Hopper was King Koopa. It's ridiculous. Why are these actors playing video game characters? How did the film turn out to be that shit? Yeah. I just look forward to that.
Because Mario obviously recently linked up with the Rabbids, from the Rayman universe, who a lot of people say are a bit like the Minions. So I wonder what it would be like having a Mario film made by the people who made Minions. I think it'd be good. Because Despicable Me is a good series.
Do you think they'd put the Rabbids in his film?
I don't know. Maybe, probably.
Because it'd just be it'd just be what was Despicable Me one, wouldn't it? Then
Yeah.
You know what? I'm shocked thinking about that. I'm shocked they haven't done that already. Like,
It's
the
mad,
Rabbids
isn't
are
it?
like an idea for a Minions kind of film, aren't they?
Because they've tried films on a lot of game franchises, and Mario's won the most well-known games character.
I'd
Mario,
say so, yeah.
Other than the Pong bat, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. No, go Mario.
maybe Pac-Man, but
maybe.
Other than that, Mario's probably not as had as many film outings as you would have expected him to have.
The only image I've got in my head of that game, I've literally got the Mario game in my head. I'm just watching a film of Mario the game. You just got a side-scrolling film.
But that's the thing, like, it doesn't have much dialogue in the games. It's a me, a Mario, and then, woohoo! That's literally it. Can't be trusted to say anything else. He might be like a massive racist.
Mario gets outed.
I can't name any black characters in Mario.
No.
Is he Italian? Is he Japanese?
Will it just start as him as like a plumber, and then he decides he needs to go and save a princess or something? I'm not a storyteller.
Yeah.
Mario Brothers are called Mario Brothers, but it's Mario and Luigi, isn't it? So is his name Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Luigi Mario. I don't think Waluigi's his brother, is he?
No,
Or
that's
Wario and Waluigi.
weird bizarro version of Mario or something.
Yeah. But is Waluigi Wario's brother?
Oh God. Maybe.
So is Waluigi's name Waluigi Wario? Because Wario's had his own games like WarioWare and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that named after his last name?
Possibly.
Or is this where the Japanese culture thing where they switch the names around? Maybe it's that. Super? Is that his real first name? Super Mario.
While we're on the topic, is King Koopa related to Bowser? Because Bowser seems to use Koopa Troopers quite a lot. They all just one big, evil family.
Could be. But, do you know Peach keeps getting abducted? I think she's playing for it now. She's been abducted that many times.
Maybe.
In the games.
I mean, there's Morton Downey Jr. Is that the actual actor in it? Morton Downey Jr.
Robert Downey, Super Mario Jr.
Morton Cooper Jr. I presume that's King Koopa's son. I'll stop.
What about Yoshi as well? I don't like Yoshi.
Yoshi was in the film as well, that old film. This weird little creepy dinosaur that they find. It's so weird, that film.
I think he's overrated.
Yeah.
Yoshi.
You know, like play Yoshi's Island.
Yeah, I never played it. I think the character of Yoshi, he doesn't really contribute to, society. Let's move on. Other films. What have you watched?
Yeah, I've got a couple. Have you guys got anything first? Or
Nope.
Okay, I'll just burn through these. I've not got a ton to say about them, but dropped the bombshell on WhatsApp in the week that I'm readjusting my top 5 from 2017. I know
you're not allowed to change these lists. John.
I know you're all dying to hear this.
Are you actually going to add a 2017 film into this list, or
I actually am. I've checked in the meantime. Split 2017 film.
2016
aired at festivals in 2016, so I don't count that. That's fine.
No, I'm sure they got a wider release in 2016.
No, US 2017 January. It's fine.
Our main film is down as a 2017 film. Apparently,
But that is actually a 2017 film.
Oh, I see.
Yep, that's different. So I'm changing my top 5. You guys will be interested in this. You've heard of The Red Turtle, I presume. Studio Ghibli film. Came out last year.
I'll be honest, I don't know that one.
Have not heard of it?
No.
You guys would love it. I'm not normally a fan of cartoons, you guys know that, but this is actually an adult film. This is a real film.
It sounds dead derogatory when you use the word, cartoons.
Cartoons, but this is a real
Animated.
film, this one. It's amazing. It's a cartoon by Studio Ghibli. I believe you guys are fans.
That triggers me. I don't know why. Just calling them cartoons.
Cartoons.
Right, okay.
But you guys are fans of... Is it Ghibli or Ghibli? Or
I thought it was Studio Ghibli.
Ghibli. Okay, Studio Ghibli. Yeah. It's the first one of their films that I've seen. Yeah. But it's fantastic. There's no dialogue in the film for like 90 minutes.
Great.
Completely free of dialogue.
Is it musical or...
Great soundtrack to it. Yeah, looks amazing. Right. Yep. I can't recommend it enough for you guys. I don't know if are you a fan, Inman, of cartoons? Or
Animated?
Not really.
No.
Japanese animations.
Japanese animation. But I mean, I'm not myself, but this film is that good that I think you'd enjoy it. Like 90-minute long film, no dialogue. Looks amazing. And
what's can you give any premise on what
not
it is?
Really. I mean,
without giving it away.
It's one of them films that I watched it and loved it, and I read about it afterwards. And some of the themes in the film that I didn't totally get at first are just amazing. It's basically about like, again, it's totally up for interpretation how you want to look at it, but it's about man's relationship with nature.
I thought you said Batman's relationship with nature.
About Batman's relationship with nature. No, it's about man's relationship with nature and how nature gives you what you need to live. Basically, a guy gets stranded on a beach, a bit like Castaway. And it's about how he survives. He tries to escape the island, and nature just keeps throwing him back on the island. That kind of thing. I don't want to give too much away because it will kind of.
Yeah, that's enough.
It's all about the watch kind of thing. So, but there's one scene in it where he's on the island for the first time, and he's walking around like a sheer cliff face, and he falls down. I can't really describe this, but like on like tropical islands, how you can have like little lagoons within like the rock face, and at first impression, you can't get out of that weird little lagoon. Do you know what I mean by this? It's a weird description, but imagine a tropical island with like a weird cliff face.
Right. So I'm on a tropical island, and there's a cliff face. And am I at the top of the cliff?
There might be like a weird pothole at the top of this like rocky cliff face.
Okay.
And like within the pothole, it's like a lagoon of water.
Like a lagoon halfway up the cliff.
No, and this is like an oceanside cliff, so water's got into this weird little.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean now.
He falls into one of these weird, kind of just sheer drops, and he's surrounded by rocks. Yeah, and he can't get out. And it's like that's like a fear of mine, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
If it's just to fall into one of it, like you're screwed, aren't you? So it's just stuff like that. Where like, how does he get out of it?
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But
so has it got subtitles?
There's no dialogue.
Was
literally
the majority
no dialogue
of it?
at all. Yeah.
I'm interested in that.
I think there's like either a Dutch or French director for it, but so it's got like a weird sensibility to it. But yeah, I think you guys will love it. It's amazing.
You sold me on it.
I'm not going to give it a 5 because I'm trying not to give stuff a 5 straight away because I gave everything a 5 last year.
And then you'll start giving 6s out.
Yeah.
Yep.
6 out of 5. No, 4.5 out of 5.
That's very high from you.
4.5 out of 5.
I can never tell where you're...
For a cartoon, eh?
For a cartoon.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, top-rated cartoon.
That's my top cartoon of 2017. So yeah, in terms of changing my top 5 for 2017, it's not the Red Turtle. Just gotta throw that out there. It's
Was that your little swerve?
Yeah, a little
you
swerve,
dropped a little
curveball.
swerve on the podcast.
little curveball.
Hey guys, you know I'm changing my list. It's not the film I just spent 10 minutes explaining.
At number 5 was Logan.
Okay.
It's Unlucky Logan because number 5 is now Logan Lucky.
Okay.
Yeah, Logan Lucky at number 5.
Right.
Directed by Steven Soderbergh. I think you've watched a couple of his films. You watched Side Effects, I think, a few years ago.
Yes.
He did Magic Mike. You've seen Magic
Yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
Great
Yeah,
director.
yeah.
And he had...
Sorry, Side Effects. I was just trying to click in my head. That's the one with the mental place, isn't it?
Yeah, like a psychiatrist.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I
that's
remember
great,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
He did like Ocean's 11 as well, and all the Ocean's films as well. It's a film about... It's Adam Driver, Channing Tatum, and Daniel Craig, the 3 big actors. And it's about 2 brothers coming to rob a speedway in like West Virginia in the US. But yeah, it's just a great film. Soderbergh officially retired in like 2013 or 2014. Just completely said, I'm doing normal films. And everyone was like, what? It's only like I think like mid-50s or something kind of thing. So everyone was like, what? Why are you retiring? But he retired. Then, like on Magic Mike XXL, he was like the editor, sound producer, like did every job apart from director, basically. I think he might have played Magic Mike in that as well. So he did that, and like he clearly just wanted to get back into movie making. So he made his return this year with Logan Lucky, and yeah, just great film, great like heist caper, a bit like Ocean's 11.
Did you say he made his return this year?
2017.
Okay.
Last year. 2017.
I know you run your 2017 list quite loose.
Well, but I mean, the big thing for me with this film is just how entertaining it is. I think people sometimes just forget about entertainment value in a film. And I'm planning on watching it again tonight when I get home. Like I watched it once this week. I'm going to stick it on again tonight with a few beers. It's that much fun. Yeah, it's fantastic. That's my new number 5 of 2017.
Great.
Just snuck in there. Unlucky Logan. You're out.
Unlucky Logan. Lucky Logan.
Yeah, replaced by Logan Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a 5 out of 5. Yep.
Good go. Yeah. 5 out of 5.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. Any other films?
No. I'll watch it this week.
Should we move on to our main film of the week this week?
Yeah, sounds good.
I haven't seen it, so I'm going to hand the reins over to who wants them.
Inman.
Sam. Sam, you got the reins.
Yeah, we went to watch Darkest Hour yesterday night.
Is it Darkest Hour or The Darkest Hour?
Darkest Hour.
Darkest Hour.
I actually googled that last night. I don't know why, but I was like, is it The Darkest Hour?
Do we need a synopsis for this, or do you think everyone knows?
Yeah, maybe.
So what's it about?
Loose synopsis is 28 days from when Churchill took over being Prime Minister of Britain while Britain is at war.
Can you do this review without spoiling the ending?
We can try.
'Cause I don't want to know the outcome of the war.
I think it's over the place of like 14 days or something, from like the 10th of May to the 24th.
I think it's like the month that.
Oh, a month, sorry, right, yeah.
It goes on a bit longer. But.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So where do we begin?
Well, you know where to begin, Nick.
Educate me.
We spoke about this in work today.
When you were doing your work, or
Yeah. While we were busy. You mentioned this morning about the experience of watching it.
Oh God, yeah, I want to talk about this actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, Sam, but about 2 minutes into watching the film, the most annoying thing in the world happened, and a couple walked in and decided, I'm not going to be quiet and I'm just sit on the side seats at the side. I'm going to sit right in the middle of the cinema, make everyone move right in front of us.
I remember this.
It was so irritating, and just to put the cherry on the top, there was a man and a woman, a couple. The man, a couple of minutes later, his phone started ringing loudly. I was like, right, you're late, you're disrupting everyone. Now your phone's ringing, and just to top it off even more, they started chatting afterwards, like during the film. I was like, right, leave.
This is one of the reasons why I do not like going to the cinema. It's when things like that happen.
Because of idiots like them.
Yeah, literally, the film had started. We were good like 5 minutes into the film at this point. Clement Attlee's launched into a speech on screen trying to remove Neville Chamberlain as Prime Minister. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I am well into this. Like, then these two fucking cunts come in. Just start shuffling down the road. And you're like, are you joking? Like, get here on time? Like, the film started?
Yeah.
You don't have to beep that out, by the way.
Yeah. Should I beep that out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll leave it in.
I'll bleep that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that irritated me enough.
Didn't win the war for nothing, so.
Yeah, that irritated me enough, them like coming in late. But the fact that the phone rang and I was just like, are you joking?
Cinema etiquette is something I take seriously. Yeah. So if you're assigned a chair, you sit in that chair. So I had a similar experience recently where there was two guys, relatively, it was Jumanji actually, relatively empty cinema, sat on the back row, and there was two lads, and they brought bags in of clearly like food and stuff. So they had a rucksack on a chair in between them. And then they, like,
me and Nick were joking about that as well, like bringing a cool box in with food and stuff.
No, but like they ended up having to move seats because we wanted our seats. But because they'd left so much mess on the seats, we ended up just sitting somewhere else, like further down, because they just left loads of shit. And the film hadn't even started. We were in the trailers and they'd camped out like at the back of the cinema. Couldn't believe it. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Just on that though, do you listen to Mark Kermode at all?
No.
I don't know if it's still a thing, but years ago we did the code of conduct. Do you remember about this? Where it was like no loud food. You couldn't eat loud food in the cinema.
He's right.
It's right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Follow the code of conduct.
I was sat there eating nachos. Right now, I'm contributing to the problem there, but I can't understand why they sell things like nachos at the cinema or anything with a wrapper on it. I can't get it. I don't like
food.
I just do not understand why we do this.
Yeah,
and it's like 20 quid for like a box of popcorn and a drink. Like it's. This is why I don't really like going to the cinema.
It's all backwards. Yeah.
Well, Ben did get nachos, and he said I drove and he came back. I gave him a lift home, and he was saying in the car sort of like he stopped eating nachos just the first minute because he was like, He's like, okay, I'm going to put that down because that's way too distracting to everyone else in the cinema.
It's so bad because I did that at Jumanji, and like you're basically timing the eating of your nachos with loud things on the screen. So it's like, oh, it's an explosion.
I noticed Ben doing that. Literally, as the credits were rolling, he's like just quickly chucked it on the floor just as the film was starting. I thought, oh, well done, well played, done that, timed that well. And then bloody the code breakers come waltzing in 5 minutes later, halfway through the film. Yeah. Yeah.
We were also talking on the way home. I'm not like a big cinema goer. I don't go that often. I started to go a little bit more. Like been a couple of times this week. Got another trip planned for 3 Billboards next week.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go watch that. By the end of that film, my knees were absolutely killing me because there's just not enough. I'm just like, what I'm thinking is, I don't know why they try and jam as many seats into a room as possible. For the first 2 days, you might have an 80% full
theatre,
cinema. After those 2 days, numbers are going to start dropping off dramatically. Until 3 weeks into the run, you're going to have 10% of the cinema, if that, full. Why make it so uncomfortable for those 10% of people going to the cinema?
Tough question.
No, I mean, I like what you're saying, but I imagine that the majority of cinemas make the money in the first sort of couple of days.
Yeah, I imagine. Especially stuff like The Last Jedi, when it's just like packed out the first few days. Yeah.
But, okay, we'll just have different cinema screenings.
Yeah.
Just like...
But under your rule, what will end up happening is when Star Wars gets released, you'll go to the Odeon, and there'll be just 8 screens showing Star Wars, and you won't be able to go watch some other shit movie that's on at the same time.
Or just have adjustable seating in the screening.
But I've got to admit, we're pretty much there already, to be honest with you. Like when Star Wars came out, you couldn't watch pretty much anything really apart from Star Wars for like a month. You'd have to go to like home in Manchester to watch anything, halfway interesting.
I do agree. I do agree with you. Unfortunately, we live in corporate broken Britain.
But I think I'd go way more if I knew I wasn't going to come away injured.
Yeah. So it's cold as well.
And if you could,
it was ridiculously cold in a theatre.
And if you could pause it halfway through,
that as well.
and come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm just coming back tomorrow.
I'd be quite happy with an intermission during cinema films.
Well, they used to do it when I was a kid. That was a thing, intermission. Like
Back in the 40s?
It's what?
Back when this film was set.
I was watching.
Was that during the bomb raids?
Well, yeah, literally. Like, I remember watching Ghostbusters as a kid, and like halfway through the film, the curtains are closed, and you're encouraged to go and like buy a choc ice and what have you.
I really like the idea of an intermission.
Yeah, I don't see why not. You need the toilet halfway through, don't you?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Because if you've got to like a comedy gig, there's an intermission in the middle normally.
Yeah.
That's just the way.
Most theatre productions you go see. Yeah, musicals, whatever.
I suppose with the cinema, they just want to show you the film, get you out, get the next batch of people back in.
Get the next 10 people in the screen.
And 2 of them will be late and ruin it for everyone else.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about Darkest Hour?
What's the film again?
Something that was mentioned after we watched the film when we came out was the speech impediments of a couple of people and
every major character
and the mumbling of Churchill.
Yeah,
making it hard to sort of like listen to the film and a little bit of, I think someone describe it as a chore to watch. Not a chore, but
Ben maybe
struggle to watch and understand what everything that was being said anyway. Gary Oldman did. You've mentioned Mark Kermode, so I think it was. I can't remember whether it was yesterday's episode or the week before. Simon Mayo spoke to Gary Oldman and really interesting discussion over that. And then Kermode gave his review and he said that it isn't an imitation of Churchill. It's not a direct. Get the voice as close as you can to Churchill's exact voice as it was. There's some license in there for the mumbling, but it's not a direct imitation, which I thought was fine and everything like that. And to be fair, at the start of the film, the secretary goes in and she's warned that he mumbles and everything like that. And I think at that point, I was like, well, you just got to take his character and his mumblings for what they are. If you don't hear it, exactly what you're saying, that's part of his character and part of the film. And I think, for me, I was just thinking, I'm just accepting that as character trait.
Yeah.
So I wasn't that bothered with the mumbling, to be honest. I was like, that's just part of the film, isn't it? So.
I was fine with it, particularly Gary Oldman. It was more like Viscount Halifax and the King, who were the more distracting ones, really. But I suppose they're going for authenticity, aren't they? So
I didn't find it too distracting from the film. I don't know. I didn't feel like I didn't understand.
Oh, not at all.
Large chunks of it or anything like that. There's Lawless. Watched that quite a while ago, but
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy in that. I don't understand a word he said in that film. Like,
I think he just grunts for half.
So it wasn't anything as bad as that.
Yeah, definitely. Talking of Gary Oldman, for me, I don't know how you guys felt about it. It felt like the film took a while to really get going. I feel like, I don't know if it's planned this way, but Churchill was quite sparse in the first 30 minutes, I thought. Almost like they're building you up to like, you know, when you finally see me just like lying in bed smoking a cigarette. It's like a really weird introduction to him. But yeah, for me, it took a while for the film to actually get going. But when Churchill, about half an hour in, hits his stride, Gary Oldman, when Gary Oldman hits his stride about half an hour in, I thought it really hit like a really good note kind of thing. His performance is incredible, I think, in the film. Yeah, really.
Did you say he was getting tipped for Oscars based on
I believe so. Yeah, people are saying that. I mean, are the nominations out yet for the Oscars? I don't know. It's February, isn't it? I think the actual award show. So, but I believe he's like the first name on everyone's list, kind of thing. So, it can't be understated how good he is in the film. He really is. Some of the speeches he delivers. You know, the what's the one where you can't reason with the tiger when your head is in its mouth. That was especially good. Yeah.
Some of those are great. Like those actual speeches, though.
Yeah, the actual speech.
The actual source material. I'm hard calling the source material.
Who wrote this?
The source material is like really good, and it's obviously the impact of that. Seeing that now acted out must be great. Like, it's been done before, but like it's it's a 2017 version, 2018 version.
Yeah. What I loved about this film, though, like I always had this impression of Churchill because obviously he brought Britain out of one of the hardest times they've been in the past couple of centuries, kind of thing. But I had this impression that it was like a proper like gentleman kind of thing, but like this film proper shines in a different light.
Yeah, definitely.
He was supposed to have been very brash, wasn't he? I suppose you've all just watched this.
Well,
I think he was known to have like, I don't know if it's a drinking problem, but he had a drinking habit, definitely.
There was this one picture which got taken on the film where like paparazzi are chasing him and he gives him the V, and it's a real picture. If you Google
it's an iconic photo.
Yeah, it's a real picture, and like I thought that was quite good. But I'd never seen this before. But like I say, it shines to him in a whole new light to what I previously thought of him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going off that, I think the point of this film is to show like the more vulnerable side of Churchill. You have this image of him being like the guy who won World War II kind of thing, the strong leader. But it's more about showing you him in the quiet moments when he is doubtful and he is, am I doing the right thing? I'm sacrificing 4,000 soldiers here, kind of thing. Is it the right thing to do?
I did like that showing that like he wasn't always sure about his decisions, like because he was getting a lot of pressure from a lot of different angles, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And so he just didn't know what to do, kind of thing.
Just to explain, Joe, I mean, I didn't know about the actual background to this. Basically, Neville Chamberlain is forced to step down because of the way he's just handled, like the shoddy way that he's led the country into war with Germany. And at that point, everyone wants Viscount Halifax to become the new Prime Minister. I've never even heard of Viscount Halifax before. I didn't even know it's a real historical figure, I imagine, but I've not looked into it. And he played a kind of like a political card by stepping back and letting Churchill become Prime Minister. I think it was kind of like give him enough rope to let him hang himself and I'll step in and save the day kind of thing, but it doesn't play out that way.
Apparently it didn't play out like that in real life either, though.
Right, okay. I was wondering that, like the actual truth behind it. And it's essentially Churchill coming in to a government which is being told by the war cabinet that they have to make peace with Germany. And Churchill just won't have it kind of thing. And as soon as like Viscount Halifax realises that he's not going to push for peace, everyone's then trying to get rid of Churchill straight away. And it's just him fighting like all corners, like fighting Germany, fighting his own war cabinet, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean...
Don't call it a war cabinet for nothing, do they?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I'm interested in some of the actual true facts behind it. Have you looked into it at all, Inman? Or
I've seen various bits, but I don't know whether I might be able to interject with.
Well, I was just thinking like the Viscount Halifax thing. I didn't really know anything about him, but the bit where he actually, it's almost like a kind of weird prequel sequel to Dunkirk. Like if they'd come out at the same time, it'd been a good like double bill.
Yeah.
Very, very positive double bill. Like, watching Dunkirk and this at the same time.
Yeah. But there's one bit where like the soldiers are trapped at Dunkirk, and there's like a kind of like a ploy just to save those soldiers on the beach. They send 4,000 soldiers from Calais just to sacrifice themselves to distract the Nazis from actually going to Dunkirk to wipe out the army. And I had no idea. I mean, I don't know if that's a real thing that happened. I imagine it will be, but yeah, I had no idea about that.
I think it would be, but I also thought, well, that should have been part of Dunkirk film. I know that is Dunkirk, but that is part of the battle, wasn't it? Like, and one of the reasons why they got so many soldiers off the beaches of Dunkirk.
Because of that,
I suppose with Dunkirk it was very much this is the story, this is the small part of this.
Yeah, just
whole
focus
thing.
on this one bit.
If you extend it out too much, and it's just
it would have lost maybe some of its focus.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
One other thing I did like in the film, get to see Churchill on the toilet quite a bit. I think there's
quite good funny moments, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's quite good.
What was the line he said to someone while he was on the toilet?
Was it? Do you want to reply to the French president? And it was.
Is it like I've got one shit to deal with first before dealing with the shit?
Something like that.
Yeah, that's quite good. And the other bit, he phones. Is it Teddy Roosevelt on the toilet?
I like when he went in and door slams and you see WC and he sat in the next shot. He's sat on the toilet and he's got his drink there.
Yeah,
he's got
his cigar in the ashtray.
Big bottle ready to pour whenever he needs it.
Yeah,
depending on how long he's going to spend it there.
And this is something I've always wondered about. What does WC stand for on the toilet, or is that like just his initials?
No.
What does it actually stand for?
I think it's.
Isn't it French?
Is it?
I don't know.
It'll be Latin for something.
I think it is Latin.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe Latin, not French.
I actually knew what it meant once, but
I'll find out for next week.
Great.
Stay tuned in for toilet news.
I used to know that.
I used to know that. But for some reason,
They make a big point of showing it when it shuts the door, like WC.
Stands for toilet.
Le toilet.
Le toilet.
Just a observation about the look of the film. I'm not a big fan of the look of it. I think going back to the Lost City of Z episode that we did, I mentioned on that I don't know why when they do like period films, they make it look stuffy and old. Do you know what I mean? When they have like light streaming in through dark light through curtains and everything's smoky and dusty.
There was a point when the King was giving Churchill like, "This is you're going to be Prime Minister." I really noticed light coming in. I was a bit like, "This is just far too."
We're talking like
it was a bit too over the top.
It was like it wasn't even natural light. It was like this really grey, dark light that just makes everything look like the 1940s kind of thing.
We're talking dusty.
Yeah, dusty.
But it was a much dustier time.
Well, I don't think I'm not sure if it was.
Wartime creates a lot of dust.
But I like when you watch Dunkirk. That looks like a modern film. Like, it's like we have this thing in our head of 1940. Or that would have looked old back then. But it would at the time. It would look modern. You know what I mean?
I always think this.
Yeah,
you don't need to make it look old, because if I was watching this from that era, it would look new.
And just as a comparison, I don't know if you remember, but in Inglourious Bastards, when Michael Fassbender gets his orders from Winston Churchill, do you remember that scene? Mike Myers plays the sergeant, and it's like an old boardroom, but it's not an old looking scene. You know, it's like brightly lit and stuff, and it's got like pastel colours on the wall and stuff like that. So I just don't like it when films. I mean, Joe Wright's the director, and I think he's got a habit. He did like Atonement and Pride and Prejudice. He's got a habit of making stuffy looking films, kind of thing.
Stuffy looking.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah. So you feel like the emphasis that they were trying to create didn't need those extra creative directions.
Yeah, it's almost like just to show. Don't forget we're in the 1940s. Everything's dusty and stuffy.
Yeah.
But at the time, it would have been new and modern at the time. But
it's definitely dustier.
Yeah, a dustier time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
World War II, a dustier time.
Just wanted to mention that, Seth. I'm sure I mentioned it on the Lost City of Z podcast as well. My last point really is just it's directed by Joe Wright. Have you guys watched any of his films that he's done? I've not seen many of them. I've only seen I watched Hannah, which he did in like 2011 or 2012.
Yeah, 11.
With Sacha Ronan. Have you seen that one?
I've not seen it, but
it's one of them films that like everyone raved about it at the time, saying like it's like an assassin action film, but with a twist, and it is that. But I just didn't find it that interesting personally. It is good, like it's a good film kind of thing, but I'm not totally blown away by his work. And I watched Pan as well. I think, have you watched that as well?
I've watched Pan. Was that by him as well?
That's by him as well, and that was a bit more of a miss, I think.
Yeah, that was definitely a miss. That one.
Yeah, but he's done like Atonement as well and Pride and Prejudice. I'm sure there's another one in there as well. He threw in. So I'm not a massive. I mean, it's a perfectly good film. I'm not a massive fan of his style or anything, but yeah. I think I'm pretty much done.
I've got trivia, which might just bring up some things from the film if we want to get into that.
I'm all for trivia.
Like a bit of trivia. Gary Oldman obviously wears a fat suit in the film. His makeup total time spent in makeup 200 hours.
Ooh.
I mean, it is amazing. I thought the makeup on him, like, it doesn't look like a fat suit at any point. No. You know, you can't see the joint kind of thing or anything.
I mean, I thought originally, like, did he put on weight for this? Because it's just
it looked that good.
Yeah. But then, like, I think it was Graham Norton's show he was on, and he said it wasn't in that, and they went into sort of like the makeup part of it and stuff like that.
It's all to do with the posture as well, the way he holds himself. Like, he's got like that low chin, and he's always holding his back and his stomach and stuff into the.
Well, the fat suit was half his body weight.
Oh, maybe that's a natural posture.
Acting through that and getting up with that extra weight is like, he's probably going to struggle with that. He said at the end of the film, sort of like, because he does his big speech and then walks out, and then it has like more blurb about what happened after that, kind of like that end point of the film. And it said sort of like, after winning the war, 5 years later, win the war, and after that, like a month later, he was like general election, and he wasn't re-elected or anything like that. He was re-elected in the next
1951, 1951, and he was replaced by Clement Attlee in 1945, who was the guy at the start of the film stabbing Neville Chamberlain in the back. Right. Yeah, so
it's all just
big players in the end.
Wait, he was Prime Minister again.
Yeah, from 51 to 55, I think. Yeah.
So they must have gone, made a bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, getting back.
Cigar budget, I think I've seen a couple of different numbers with this. So I've seen between $20,000 and $30,000 just on cigars.
Yeah.
That's a great stat.
Yeah.
So
Great bit of trivia, that.
roughly about 400 cigars between those two numbers, $50 and $75 per cigar.
Well, we mentioned after you explained that to us, we were saying like, do you think like on set they were like, look, can you just use a fake cigar? Maybe? No, I need these ones. And I need 400 of them.
If you're a fan of like cigars and you're an actor, you'd be like, we are going to have to film that scene again.
I'm a method actor.
He got nicotine poison from smoking 400 cigars. So,
Right.
his secretary in real life was not his secretary. Well, was not his secretary until 1941. So after the film is set.
Right.
So that's again artistic license in there. More artistic license is the underground scene, which we questioned at the time after we came out.
Curious about this.
Yeah.
So basically, not seeing the film, he goes. He's in his car, and all of a sudden his driver turns around. He hears a door slam, and he's not. Churchill isn't there. This is something that Churchill did, where he would disappear from 10 Downing Street or the War Cabinet, and he would go and speak to the public. But there's no sort of story that he went and did this on the underground. So that's
a bit of artistic license.
for the film, and so I guess relatively speaking, it's easier to film in a dark room where you've not got anything going on, like not filming in like a street of London or whatever.
Yeah.
So is this an artistic interpretation of what he could have done?
I guess so. So like these conversations probably happened, but not like,
in a different context, maybe.
Can I just jump in there as well? I feel like that scene as well was highlighting that Churchill will like bend facts and stuff to strengthen his own argument. Like when he's talking to the people on the tube, he gives them one story, then they give him their opinion. Then later on, when he's talking to the cabinet, he's like, I spoke to
Mr. Baker,
and he told me, like, he just totally, he gets the names and like he throws a bit of truth in there, and then throws this random fact in and makes it all merge together, like to win his argument, kind of thing.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like you can just feed someone just a load of shit, but if you sprinkle a tiny bit of truth on it, it makes the whole thing look real.
Yeah, makes it a lot more credible. Yeah.
Production side of that underground scene, they tried to find like a pre-war tube train. Couldn't get one, so the tube train is 1959 tube train, but dressed up like a pre-war one.
Yeah.
So what, they couldn't salvage any pre-war ones?
Tube train? No, couldn't use one. Another part of that is that he only goes one stop. The conversation goes on for over 5 minutes, but that in reality only takes 2 minutes between those two.
In real life, he'd be on the Bakerloo line now.
Like the source of that fact, just the idea someone sat there and went.
But the thing is, what I was thinking watching the film, I was thinking like, this one.
It was you.
It's 30 seconds.
They get to the next stop, and he already knows it's one stop because he asks some woman before he gets on the train, like, "Whoa, how do you get to Westminster?" "Oh, there's one stop on the East Line, or whatever, like, District Line." And he goes one, so he gets to the next stop. And goes, "Oh, what stop is this?" "Westminster, sir." It's like, oh. I was thinking, it's taken a long time between the stop. I've been on the underground.
Could have been a slower one in front
minutes.
of it, and it's like a slower rail or a slower speed.
I say 1941 with the rail not have gone slower.
Possibly. They didn't say sort of like this is the time, but I don't know.
Well, I feel back then it was all steam engines. They're going a lot quicker.
Great.
No, that's trivia.
I enjoyed that trivia. It was good.
Can I just jump in as well? What have you guys got a favourite scene at all from the film? For me, it's the bit where like Churchill's just been dogged throughout the entire film by, like, say, the War Cabinet, Germany, France. Are just the Americans can't help him. Even the King of England just doesn't like him whatsoever. And it's the scene where the king comes to visit him. Is it at home at the time?
Yeah.
In I presume the late night or middle of the night. And the king is just finally had enough. He's like, fuck it, let's get Hitler. I'm behind you. Let's go to war, because all the talks have been about peace talks before that. I don't know if that's actually true, but like the King of England finally sways on it and is like, no, I'm behind you. We're going to go to war. We're going to, and that's why we won. Yeah.
Talking of if you've got favourite scenes, we'll go into it. But the trailers for me, I saw the trailer 2 or 3 times, and I was almost waiting for those moments in the film. Like you've got
really?
you've got those quotes. So when he says, "Stop interrupting me when I'm interrupting you," I was like, I just know this is coming.
I know what you mean.
I've seen the scene and stuff like that, and then because the context of that was like the mood was quite dark and the music was down and sort of like there was no comedic element to that.
Yeah.
So when he said that and most of the audience laughed, I was like, I don't feel like that's supposed to be funny, but it is funny in the trailer because you've not got the context.
The trailer makes it look like it's Jerry Seinfeld. In the film, it's actually like a dramatic point, like into the.
That happens so much in trailers, but that's one of the reasons why, like, if I had my way, if I was in charge of films in general, there would be no trailers.
Yeah.
Like, I think trailers get
no one
far
will go
too.
see the film.
No, like, it's.
Are you trying to suggest that like people laughed because they'd seen the trailer and they were laughing because of that?
I always think they'll have seen it in the trailer, laughed, and when it comes up in the film, they're almost programmed that that's a funny moment.
But because I never actually watched the trailer before watching this film. I just knew it was a Churchill film, so I wanted to watch it, and I found that hilarious.
I don't know. I was watching it, going, maybe I'm just being a bit of a Grinch.
I see your point though, because I've had the same thing with trailers where I know something's coming, and then when it actually happens, it's not as funny in the trailer. Not because I've seen it, but because out of context it was funny, and then in context it wasn't. Maybe this one. Maybe, but
I mean, it's a funny enough line, but I just felt like where it was in the film and the lead up to it, I was like, he's being serious there.
Yeah,
I'm in charge here. Don't interrupt me when I've got something to say.
Yeah, of course. I did find it funny in the film as well, but I definitely know what you mean about just the whole like pattern of that scene in the trailer. I don't know if they make more edits to it, but it's just such a different feel in the trailer to how it is in the film. It plays quite differently. But like I say, people still laughed anyway. But it's like been recontextualised for the trailer and to make it look like a Jerry Seinfeld kind of highlight reel or something. Yeah.
No, it's not. I'm not saying that that's like a. Yeah, we were saying like favourite scenes or anything like that.
Yeah.
There are many good scenes like this when he's doing his speeches, and I
do like really the head in the tiger's mouth speech as well. That is amazing.
I think my favourite one from it was when he did his first broadcast, and he's sort of like, he's just about to go live to the nation on the wireless, and they're waiting for like the red light and stuff like that, and the red light ticks, and you got the connotation of the really red dark room, and you just sort of like everything just stops, and then he starts his speech, and you're like,
yes, here we go.
I really did like that bit.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, Nick, have you got anything? Any favourite scenes or?
Oh, favourite scene? I don't know. Like you say, the speeches.
Yeah,
the speeches always made my the hair on my skin stand up. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Can I just jump in with one more thing? Like, there's one scene where he goes to visit the French Prime Minister because they've just been invaded by Germany, and he's saying to them like, "Look, Germany have invaded with Panzer tanks." But that's all they've got. They've just got tanks going down the road. Like when you say they've invaded, I was saying last night, I find it interesting in terms of war. Like, how do you know when you technically invaded somewhere? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you said one tank down the road, it's like, oh, we've invaded. Do you need to have a certain number of like armed forces to go in, kind of thing?
Yeah, it's a good question. I imagine it's as soon as they start invading.
Yeah,
is when you would call it an invasion. First tank in, being invaded, and then when one of them stops, it's like, oh, they're occupying.
Well, I feel like someone made the point last night. Like, I suppose if you looked out your window and there's like a Panzer tank with, it's like, oh yeah, the Germans here. Oh well. Yeah, but I just like the fact that Churchill's point is almost is saying to the French PM, is saying like, look, like don't give, just don't fold. Like, yeah, sure, they've sent people in, like, but you can still fight back, kind of thing. And they're just like, no, you're delusional. Yeah, so that ended that.
Right.
Yep.
You all seem to think this was a very poignant film and like well put together.
I think there's powerful stuff in it. I mean, obviously
definitely.
It's
the source material. Source material's like pretty deep.
So there's a point where he really mumbled and the secretary's supposed to be typing, but like he says, I can't find the words, and she says, no one's got away with words as like you do.
Yeah.
I was like, because there's going to be a film made about you.
Well, I love that bit though where he's almost beginning to think about drafting up peace talks. So it's like, draft the letter, and it's like, we're going to discuss peace talks with Adolf, that fucking he just starts mumbling to himself, like, obscenities and stuff. Which is like, so you were mumbling there. That was quite good. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done though.
Yeah, are we all done with that? Star ratings then. Where should we start? Who wants to give the first?
I can go first.
Go for it.
Very light, 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Yep.
Good, but not 5.
Good. I mean, it'll never be more than that for me. I'm not a fan of the look of the film. It's all about Gary Oldman, really. Just his performance is amazing.
Yeah. Are you giving his performance a 5 out of 5?
Definitely. I mean, I can definitely understand why it's being tipped for awards, but on the whole, like 4 out of 5. Yep.
Cool. Sam?
I'm the same. I was debating between 3.5 or 4. Gone with 4. Again, Gary Oldman just plays it really well. Sort of. Yeah. I like the film. 4 stars. That's it.
Yep.
Nick?
Same.
Yeah. 4
out of 5. Yeah.
Yep.
Solid film then.
Definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
Go
Probably better than Solid too. Sounds like a really good film.
It was a great film. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't give it a 5 out of 5.
I'm not sure whether it's too hyped up for me. I was going in expecting a little bit more because it literally is a story of this date to this date. Like when at the end, I was like, oh, that's the end. Like because you kind of go, well, there's still a lot more of the war to go.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt, well, I kind of want this just to continue a little bit, but like
that is worth mentioning. Like the pacing of the film was not all over the place, but I had no idea watching. My phone died, so I couldn't even check my phone at the time. I had no idea at any point in the film how long was left because there's no beginning, middle, and end. It's just telling it's like a historical document. So it's just like I couldn't tell you now whether we're 10 minutes from the end or whether we're 10 minutes in. I've totally lost track, kind of thing.
Yeah. You say it's like it was too hyped up for you. Like I literally went into that film not knowing it, apart from the historical facts. But I didn't know anything about the film, so
no.
But I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Like,
God, just liked it. Didn't bomb.
I'm for a film that and for a film that doesn't really like it takes place more in just the political houses and stuff. Like it's a lot more interesting than they expected. You know what I mean? I thought like there'd be more like war stuff going on.
Yeah,
with him standing behind soldiers and stuff. Do you know, like the pictures where he stood there behind soldiers in like.
Yeah. Well, that was another. Did they mention at the end of the film how much distant? No, I think I read it afterwards. He travelled so much distance during World War II. He was like a 65-year-old man, and he had like a heart attack in 1941 and stuff. And yet he travelled just so like must have been like the world like 5 times over or something during the course of the war.
Really?
Like, yeah, and like he was not a young man, but they said that the war re-energised him, kind of thing. Yeah, and he definitely didn't have a healthy lifestyle. So.
No.
Yeah.
How do you find drinking during the day? Lots of practice.
I'm assuming he's no longer alive.
No, died at the age of 90.
Did he? When would that have been?
That would have been 1970.
Fair enough.
Not sure what year he died.
Yeah.
Something like that, maybe. But just one final thing on the showing. Don't know if you guys noticed. A lot of old faces in that audience. Not just mine. A lot of old faces. I was half worried we might not make it through the showing without a casualty at one point. This film attracted a much older audience than normal.
And that couple.
And well, I think they were knocking on as well.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's not exactly a romantic film. Like take your significant other and go watch.
No, I feel
Churchill.
like it might be one of them films where it's like, yep, your dad will like it. You know what I mean? That kind of film. Like, send your dad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Should we wrap up then?
Yep. Sounds good.
Social media. We're on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at it's Joe.
I am at Rubik's Football.
I'm at DST Nick.
Yep, I'm at Taylor1980, and you can email us at don'tspoiltheending@gmail.com.
All right. Nick, we're on Instagram and Facebook, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
Well, the show's Twitter is DSTE Podcast.
Yep, follow that.
Same username on Instagram. Not that we're particularly active on there.
Yeah, don't bother with that one.
No, maybe not. And then, Facebook, just search us on Facebook.
Yep.
Cool. Good show.
Yeah, cheers, boys.
Yeah. Film sounded good. Give that a watch.
Yep.
Defo.
Yeah. All right, well, let's say bye then.
Yep. Cheers, guys.
See you next week.
Cheers. Bye.
That's it.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.